that what it's doing is therapeutic. What I'm talking about is the placebo effect, treatment through the power of suggestion.
And I'm going to hold points on your head, okay? Right here and here. And what I want you to do is think the phrase, fear of being ignored.
Human beings have evolved extraordinarily sophisticated self-healing mechanisms. Above all, a powerful immune system.
Fear of being ignored.
Could it be that interaction with any kind of healer acts to focus our self-healing abilities? Some evolutionary psychologists believe this may be the entirely rational explanation behind irrational remedies.
Fear of being ignored.
It works because most of medicine, in fact, is a case of self-cure. When the pain goes down after taking placebo medicine, or under the influence of acupuncture, for example, it's our own minds which have reduced the pain.
Yes, surely what you're saying is that we get better anyway. Why then would alternative medicine be better? Surely an ordinary doctor might do that.
Real medicine does the same, but I think we shouldn't underestimate the powers, and sometimes the superior powers, of people who go under funny names or have funny authorities written up on the wall and so on, because some people respond to that information much more than they would to the conventional information in a doctor's surgery.
Nevertheless, I have a sort of hankering after what's actually true. How far do you think so-called alternative practitioners believe the mumbo-jumbo that they say is the theory behind their potions, and how far do they know that it's a placebo? Are they deceiving or are they self-deceiving?
I think in many cases they're self-deceiving. Well, it's not even self-deceiving. They have seen in their own experience that these treatments work, so they believe in them. They have then to invent a rationale, some spiritual or magical explanation of what they're doing. You know, supposing you were a miracle worker in the 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, supposing you were Jesus and seeing that, you know, lame men got up and walked when you told them to, you'd be rather impressed with yourself, wouldn't you?
Yes.
But I'm sure it was a placebo effect.
Yes, right, yes. I still believe scientific medicine offers more effective and more honest treatment. But I accept Nick Humphrey's point that alternative medicine is peculiarly well positioned to dish out placebos. In the 24/7 globalized rat race of the 21st century, people are yearning for time out. Visiting an alternative healer provides an hour for unwinding and contemplation. And if you're lucky, exposure to piped whale music. Much of alternative medicine is about cosseting, about making the patient feel pampered, feel as though they're the center of attention.
Okay, so comfort's the name of the game here, so get as comfortable as you can. So literally all I want you to do is just to relax your head, let go. So the first thing I have to do is very gently cup and hold here. Now you're going to feel like I'm not doing anything, but it's a very gentle movements.
While in our hard-pressed National Health Service, the patient-doctor encounter lasts on average just 8 minutes.
See the rotation on your left?
Yes.
Look at the rotation on your right. It's restricted. So this is called an activate.
An alternative healer usually gives you an hour.
Okay? Yeah.
In return for a healthy fee, of course. The Hale Clinic near London's Harley Street offers a huge array of healing arts, ancient and modern. Many may make you think you feel better without having real effect in themselves. In other words, they're placebos. If I were wanting to exploit the placebo effect, then I would do exactly what you're doing. I would have a large number of different things which look impressive, sound good, use long words, talk about quantum theory, lights flashing, and the whole point is to impress the patient. The whole point is to make the patient feel that something is being done.
But something is being done. I mean, I would disagree with you. That I think something is being done. And why are we so good at placebo and the orthodox medicine is not?
Oh, well, they're pretty good at it too. And I mean, I find when I go to my doctor and he just talks to me, I seem to be miraculously cured as a
well, that's very, very important.
It is very important.
But maybe he's giving you some healing energy, you don't know.
Well, he wouldn't call it that.
Yes, I know he wouldn't call it that, but it could be. very, very important to talk, to find out, to take a proper case history. But I don't think it's the only reason. I think complementary medicine has effect over and above that, in my opinion.
Yes. Do you ever do clinical trials on your methods, or do people come in and do them for you?
We've done one study at Hammersmith Hospital on stroke patients that was funded quite a few years ago.
And what treatment were you giving them?
We were giving an Ayurvedic treatment called Mama Massage, and it was only a pilot study, and it showed an improvement in a certain number of patients.
So what was the control in that case?
There wasn't a control, it was just an outcome. It was just a pilot study.
So that's not really a proper trial. Do you think there's a bit of a double standard? Doctors have to spend 6 years qualifying and so on. Isn't it just a bit too easy to set yourself up in practice without qualifications and without...
Which ones were you thinking of?
Well, what about the Ayurvedic one, for example?
Well, there's a 4-year degree course here.
What do they learn? What do they learn?
They learn the principles of Ayurveda. They will learn anatomy and physiology. I mean, it's one of the oldest systems of medicine in the world, Ayurveda.
It's old, yes. Doesn't make it good, though, does it?
No, but it shows it has a lot of experience.
The idea that ancient equals years of accumulated wisdom is a fallacy. It's a teasing irony that the moneyed classes in the rich West, indulging superseded Hindu healing magic when, back in India, people are voting with their feet and opting for modern vaccines and antibiotics. Resuscitating Ayurveda today is rather like bringing back bleeding with leeches. In medicine, ancient also means developed before we understood the causes of disease, before germ theory. It was based on ignorance then, and age makes it no truer. We misguidedly look back to a golden age that never was. Ours is the golden age of safe, tested medicine, effective beyond placebo, in which we've cut infant mortality and conquered diseases, then forgotten they existed. Let's hear it for Western scientific medicine. In the 20th and 21st centuries, we've all but eliminated terrible diseases like polio, completely eradicated smallpox by a worldwide program of vaccination. Antibiotics, well, I wouldn't be here but for antibiotics, and I guess there's a good chance that you wouldn't be either. Blood transfusions, magnificent surgery, all these things are given to us by scientific principles, scientifically trained doctors. All the methods are properly tested and retested. None of that could be said for so-called alternative medicine. The indulgence of superstitious alternative remedies implicitly casts doubt on scientific advance and undermines confidence in real medical progress. Yet, as we've seen, the attack on medicine is just one small part of the creeping rise of irrational superstition. In Ayurveda or clairvoyance, homeopathy or astrology, we're confronted by those who deny evidence of the real world and instead bend reality around a dogmatic belief system handed down by tradition. Skeptical, rational inquiry is always the best approach. We don't have to follow the herd and buy into trendy, untested health fads. We don't have to be swayed this way and that by media-driven health scares. Instead, we can think independently and be truly open-minded. That means asking questions, being open to real corroborated evidence. Reason has liberated us from superstition and given us centuries of progress. We abandon it at our peril.